What's hiding underneath things can be scary. Underwater, under your bed, especially what's under your carpet. Except when you get new carpet from Carpet One Floor and Home. After tearing up your old carpet, they'll vacuum and apply Health Annex antimicrobial to your subfloor, disinfecting and killing mold, mildew, and any remaining general awfulness. Carpet One Floor and Home goes the extra mile to protect you, your family, and your home. Carpet One Floor and Home in Columbia, making your home beautiful, guaranteed.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, January the 24th. Good to have you with us here. I've got two of my friends, one on each side of me. We have Catey Terry and Kristin Bowen, Moms Demand Actions. Pleasure to have both of you ladies here. So let's start off with Catey. What are you demanding today as a mom?
We are demanding common sense solutions to the gun violence problem in this country. And the way we do that in Columbia is we work locally. We're here today to talk a little bit about a survivor event we have coming up at the beginning of February that Kristin can tell you a little bit about. And we also pay close attention to what happens in Jefferson City and how our legislators are voting on issues that are important to common sense gun legislation.
How are they voting right now?
Well, we haven't heard yet. We wait to see what bills are introduced, and typically what we do as moms is we fight for good bills and we try to fight against bad bills, some of which get introduced in Jefferson City.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned at the beginning, you're looking for common sense solution. Common sense. You're not trying to take guns away from people. You're not trying to go house to house confiscating guns. You're looking for common sense. Your organization is celebrating 10 years now,
That's right. It's been 10 years this month since Congress failed to act in the wake of the tragic shooting in Sandy Hook in
That was
Connecticut.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. And so, we recognized 10 years ago, our movement, that we needed to double down on efforts to fight back against the gun lobby. And our story is that, we won't give up. And so to honor this 10-year anniversary, we're inviting people at the beginning of this year to double down and recommit to joining this movement and working not just to change gun laws in our U.S. Capitol or in Jefferson City, but to change the culture around gun safety, to prevent more gun violence here in Columbia and across the state.
Yeah, I like the way you put it in words, gun safety.
That's right.
That's what the bottom line is. Not taking the guns away.
That's right.
But gun safety. And when you talk about that, what's the main issue that you're getting at?
Well, we talk to people, whether we're, in person, on social media, at our meetings, about the importance of recognizing that we can all work together to change the culture around gun violence. Sadly, with this anniversary, we're also recognizing that in 2020, gun violence, gun death became the leading cause of death for children and teenagers in this country, which is an absolutely astonishing and horrific fact to have to acknowledge. So we know that it's not enough to stand up for good gun laws and against bad ones. We have to do things as parents. We have to take action to secure the guns in our homes, to advocate in our schools, in our cities, for safe storage resolutions that would protect our kids from unintentionally shooting themselves or others, or accessing firearms when they're really not supposed to. So,
What was it, a couple of weeks ago?
Yes.
A six-year-old kid
right.
shot a teacher.
That's right. And that firearm was, we can have a conversation about what that means to that child and to that school community. It's tragic. But the reality is that firearm was the responsibility of an adult. And what we say in Moms Demand Action is that we have a program called the Be Smart campaign. It's just a program that's very common sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk about safe storage. I think we've mentioned this before, but the Moms Demand Action is a nonpartisan organization, and we support the Second Amendment. And there's a deep and rich culture of hunting in the state of Missouri.
Repeat that again, will you? You support the Second Amendment.
We do.
You support the Second Amendment, and this is something that people come after you about
They
because
do.
they're trying to say that you
want
or against the Second Amendment?
We want to take their guns. We are not against the Second Amendment. We believe in it and we support the U.S. Constitution in all we do and the Bill of Rights. But we also, as Kristin mentioned, feel it's incumbent upon grown-ups to store their weapons safely. It's a responsibility, not a right. You drive a car, you need to take lessons and have a permit. If you own a weapon that you can access as a 6-year-old, someone needs to be responsible for that.
So we have these conversations with one another. It's a difficult conversation. I mean, you're not wrong. People do assume things about us because we're talking about a challenging subject. We recognize that it's difficult, but it's a life-saving conversation to talk with our peers, to talk with our communities about the importance of storing our firearms locked and unloaded with ammunition stored separately.
What kind of response do you get from people when you broach that subject?
It's interesting it's different in different contexts, but for example, our local Columbia group spent this summer and fall tabling at various community events, talking to thousands of families. And it's not political to ask, are you a gun owner? Especially given that many of our volunteers and our leaders are, we are gun owners. We know that it's a difficult conversation, but we can model that for our peers and for other parents. So, for example, at a back-to-school event, we share information about having these conversations, and we just ask, are you a firearm owner? Great. How are you storing your gun? And you'd be surprised. People want to have that conversation. They worry about their kids. We all wonder when we're sending our kids out into the world, are we doing everything we can do to keep them safe? Mm-hmm. And so, having those challenging conversations just really in a friendly way while we're handing out information or treats to kids. It's something that we just have to normalize because until we do, we know we're sending our kids out into the world where there just is an unacceptable level of risk.
So, you don't know. From time to time, you go grocery shopping.
Right.
You don't know. You go grocery shopping, you go to the gas station. Anything could happen, and it shouldn't be that way. If people want more information about joining your organization or having you come to speak to their organization, what can they do?
They can find us on social media. The easiest way is we have a Facebook page, Moms Demand Action -MO. We're there. We're on Twitter. We will email you if you sign up for our email lists. We have an app. You can text to the number 64433. You can text READY, VOTE, action, almost any word you want, I think.
But you can download the app that way by texting the word app to 64433 or just download it from your app store. You can find all of our upcoming events, including a really important event in the first week of February where we're going to be honoring gun violence survivors. The first week of February, this is our 5th annual event, to honor the lives taken and to sort of recommit to standing with survivors and sharing their stories.
Okay. All right. And you can download the app at the Play Store.
Text app to 64433.
Okay, for Moms Demand Action. Got it, ladies. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks,
we appreciate
Paul.
what you're doing. If something you'd like to hear or see, we'd love to hear from you. Simply drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. Bye-bye.